Ladies and gentlemen, Sarge.
No, but I wasn't very good in school. You know, I had a problem with English. I don't know how many people who speak English here who have a problem with English, but I had a problem with English. You know, I had a problem with everything pretty much, you know, but math was my undoing. I couldn't do math. And, you know, that's why I smoked angel dust mixed with crack. Because it made everything add up. You know? I was coming and going at the same time. I couldn't do math. And, you know, and I remember that my biggest pain before I ended up, you know, trying to find shirts that would fit, because now I have another addiction, which we won't get into. It's helium, actually. It's helium. I've actually gained 25 pounds during the show, just standing here. But anyway, I was terrible at math. I couldn't do math, and that was the biggest problem. And I was constantly, I went to math camp one summer and fat camp the second half of the summer. I was the only person to gain weight at fat camp. And I still have the record at fat camp for most kids at the top of the seesaw. I don't know if you can relate. But if you remember math, do you remember math? How many people remember how painful it was when your parents couldn't do the homework anymore? Do you remember? Like, so I'm in algebra. Now, I wanted to go on a killing spree. You know, the kids bring guns to school. Algebra is the reason why kids bring guns to school. Because there's no reason why the numbers should be with the letters, under any circumstances. If I could have been smoking crack when I was 9, I would have been. Because it wasn't right. You know, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fine, it's enough. I'm American. I don't need to know the rest of this shit. And then they add letters for algebra. They say, oh, it'll help you think analytically. I'm going to treatment in 20 years. I don't need to friggin' think analytically. Don't you understand? I'm fat. I'm adopted. I'm going to end up smoking crack and killing 100 people in a school bus. So algebra, they would always be very smarmy about it. Sarge, how much is 2x plus y, Sarge? So I said, that equals me mopping at Burger King for the rest of my adult life. So they'd say to you, oh, what are you, a comedian? I said, oh, I sure hope so. Throw me out of class. So algebra wasn't good. The next one was geometry. Do you remember geometry? Shapes with emotional problems. Do you remember this? And everything added in, it was oids. Everything was oids. Rhomboids, trapezoids, hemorrhoids. Everything was a shape with oids. Couldn't do geometry. Trigonometry, what you get from eating undercooked pork. Trigonometry. It's a Jewish math, trigonometry. Calculus was my undoing. I thought calculus was the leader of Rome after Caesar. I had no idea.
Kneel before me, I am Calculus, Maximus Desiderius.
Calculus was so bad they had a whole year of pre-calculus to get you ready for your suicide attempt in regular calculus. We're not going to move you right into the suicide yet. We want you to be really primed and ready so you succeed in regular calculus. There were word problems. This is where they took all the math you couldn't do and told a stupid story with it. Do you remember that? If Chuck has a bike and rides it into a wind out of the north-northwest at 3x squared miles per hour, and Phyllis has a lemon and sticks it up her ass. Meanwhile, Tony's on an Amtrak train headed out of Dayton, Ohio at 53 miles per hour, while Larry is at the Santa Monica Farmers Market bargaining over balsamic vinaigrette. How much crack is Sarge going to have to smoke, and how much Valium is he going to have to shoot into his fucking eye with a turkey baster to get out of 9th grade? They'd always invite you to the board. You remember they'd invite you up there? You're sitting there like covering your head going, don't call on me. Don't call on me. I'm still trying to figure out why my pajamas stick out in the front. Sarge, why don't you come up to the board here and work out your problems on the chalkboard over here? Come on, buddy. Come all the way up front here and show everybody what a stupid ass you are. You couldn't even guess in math, like, you know, because I'm one of these, like, first thought wrong people. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Any addicts in the house? People, first thought wrong, you know? Like, definitely, like, if you walk into a meeting, you ever been to meetings? You look at the, if you're looking at the person, they definitely have less than, like, 4 days sober. You know what I'm talking about? I guess I'm the only one, then. I'll have to go over to Cry Help after the show. Thanks, baby. Used to tell you, don't just put down an answer. I want you to see the work that went into it. Show me how you arrived at the, if you put down the answer over here, I'll mark it wrong. Show me how you arrived at the answer in the show all work section. So one time I put a sketch of me looking over the kid next to me's shoulder in the show.